You're going to get similar symptoms like headache, maybe a little bit of feeling nausea, mild anxiety, irritability, similar to what your hangover is, right? Similar processes that your body is going through. There's definitely a fear. There's a mix-up of hangover and withdrawal, and I think people mix up the two, but people mix them up because they have a fear. I think there is a fear, especially when somebody's trying to stop drinking alcohol, that they fear that the actual withdrawal is going to be much worse. But if you think about it, you've stopped drinking alcohol before, right? Even if it was only for a day or two, 3 days, when you've had a bad hangover before. So what extra symptoms do you expect to see now that you're, all of a sudden you're stopping for good and you're going to get this withdrawal because you're stopping for good because you've made the decision to stop drinking for good? It just doesn't make any sense, right? So I think for the vast majority of people, you're going to get either none or very mild symptoms, similar to the symptoms that you felt with your hangover, right? That's the vast majority, very mild symptoms. I mean, some people are going to get moderate alcohol withdrawal, but they're used to that anyway. If you've ever tried to stop drinking alcohol, unless you haven't tried in the last 3 or 4 months, you've never had a couple of days off, then, I think just go down to your doctor to be on the safe side and tell them, what's happening. But for most people, you're going to get similar symptoms like headache, maybe a little bit of feeling nausea, mild anxiety, irritability, similar to what your hangover is, right? Similar processes that your body is going through. It's just that your body is readjusting to the absence of alcohol now, right? I remember some of the hangovers that I was getting when I was drinking, and some of the times in the morning I felt awful, completely awful. I remember a few times waking up during the middle of the night thinking I was going to have a heart attack. It was that bad. And then spending 2 or 3 days just feeling ill. I guarantee you, I never went through any of that when I stopped drinking alcohol, right? When I actually stopped, because I didn't have a lot of alcohol in the past 2 days. I stopped on the 2nd of January on New Year's Eve. I didn't drink a lot. And on New Year's Day, I had a small beer and I had half a glass of wine, and that was it. And that was my thing for that day. So when I stopped drinking alcohol, I didn't go through anything. I went through cravings. I went through, some of the normal stuff that you expect to go through. But a lot of the stuff that I went through, I shouldn't have gone through because it was my mind pushing me into that, into those feelings. You can turn up the dial, you can turn it down, right? That's end of story. Some people are going to try and convince you of that because they went through horrible things, and because they went through it, everybody has the risk of going through it. No. I mean, the risk is associated with the amount of alcohol that you've been drinking before. If you've been drinking so much alcohol that your body literally cannot come off it, right, without medical attention, without getting medication, that is a lot of alcohol, right? That is a lot of alcohol. That is ignoring a problem for a long time before you've had to do something about it, right? It is what it is, right? Take care. Onwards and upwards.